Hello, welcome back to Hot Girls Can't Drive. I'm your host, Bree, and welcome. I feel like we haven't had like a sit down chit chat conversation in a while, so hey girl, how you doing? Literally, I think the last time that we had a little sit down was when I was home for Thanksgiving filming in this room. The last two episodes we had guests, and then I missed a week because of finals. And then I missed uploading this video yesterday on Sunday because I was driving back home for Christmas break, which is why I am filming this episode now on Monday. It's Monday night. It's currently 10 o'clock at night. I'm a night owl. What about it? But yeah, how you been? How's life? Is it doing good? I was just definitely going through it since I went back to school for final season. There was just so much that went down. I always talk to my friends. I feel like literally the mostest happens during final season. Like, why does shit always go down during finals? It's like the worst possible time. I go back to Miami after our Thanksgiving break, after my little chit chat with Alexis about the Hunger Games. Immediately I go back, computer MacBook breaks. It had been broken for a while. The screen had been acting up, but it had been broken for like a year and I was still using it. But of course, finals comes when I actually have shit I need to do on the computer. It breaks. So I have to bring it to the Apple store and it takes them like 5 to 6 days to fix it. So I have to get a loaner computer from the on-campus library. I had a Dell computer. I was pulling up to class with my loaner Dell computer. So that was a whole thing. I had to like take my finals on this Dell computer and then I had to pay to get my MacBook fixed. The same time, I'm doing a like workout thing and I dislocate my knee. So my knee is currently MIA. It's out of the picture right now. It's been going through it. It's going to be okay. Like Brieffish is strong. I'm a strong, independent woman, period. So I think it's going to be okay. But I'm getting it checked out right now. So I have a brace. It's actually on the ground right now. It's a little bit embarrassing. I'm in the bed and I've had my brace all day, so I took it off. But that was just absolutely so rough because I was like, girl, bye. First my computer breaks and then my knee breaks all during finals. And I went to the doctor's office to get like my knee x-rayed and it was during finals. And I remember because I literally had a 5-page paper due the next day. So I was in the waiting room and then I was in the doctor's office and I pulled out my computer and I was typing my paper like on the table in the doctor's office, and the doctor comes in and he starts laughing at me and I'm like, girl, like the grind does not stop. Professors don't be caring about a dislocated knee. Like I still had a paper to do, so it was really stressful, which is why that week I was like, the podcast, girl, it's just not happening. It just was not happening. But you know what, we got through it, right? Like finals is always so insane. Something always happens during final season and then you just come out on the other end and it's honestly so like it's such like a sigh of relief when you're done with finals because like obviously like next semester is about to be crazy as fuck, but like at least you're done for now and not having being able to go to sleep and not having this feeling of impending doom on me because I feel like I have homework is like so nice to just be done. And I honestly feel like I had like other than like all that shit, the actual finals was so easy for me. And honestly, I think the universe owes me one because the last 2 semesters in college, finals were extremely stressful for me, like all the tests I had and everything. But like this semester, most of my classes just had project based finals. I only had like 2 tests. And I feel like projects are easier because it's like, okay, well, it's due at this date, but you can kind of like work on it on your own. And I'm a bad test taker. Like I get test anxiety. So I have always like performed kind of badly in tests. So it was nice to just like not have to worry about that. I honestly think I'm finishing the semester with like good grades, which I'm really happy about. All my friends were like complaining about having rough final seasons, and I was like, oh, can't relate. But honestly, like karma, like Miss Girl, God's whoever's up there watching me, like she owed me one because the last 2 are rough. So bless the Lords. And then the last episode was with Amanda, which was super fun. It was nice to get to record back in my car again. I felt like I was going back to my roots because the first couple episodes I had only ever filmed in my car because I didn't really have somewhere else to film it. And I was kind of embarrassed to be filming it in the dorms because A, I had a roommate, and B, the walls were thin, and I didn't want everyone to like hear me talking. And then after a while, it was just easier to film in my room because it's just like kind of hard to film in a car. So I just started filming in the room and I just got over the embarrassment of it. But then it was kind of nice to go back in the car. I was like, oh, it's back to my roots. So who knows? I would do that now, but now I'm back in Maryland and it's cold. And so sitting out in a cold car is a little rough. So I'm in my room and I'm in the basement, so no one's down here to listen to me. Anyways, that was a lot, but hey girl, hey. Just literally all of that is just to say please pray for me. Send a little prayer above for Bree Fish because she has just been going through it. But you know, whatever. It's better now, and what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Kelly Clarkson, queen, thank you. And I'm getting over it, right? We're moving on. But yeah. Oh. Before we even get into starting talking about this episode, I keep forgetting to promote this, but I made an Instagram for this podcast, and it's just at Hot Girls Can't Drive Pod. It's a long username, but I didn't do it this week, which is so awkward because I'm talking about it right now, but I want to like start promoting the pod on the Instagrams, and I want to like give updates about scheduling just because I feel like I never actually post on Sundays when I'm supposed to. So to let you know when episodes are going up, and then also just to post things. So if you want to follow that, you can. Please do, because it only has like 16 followers right now. It's a little bit embarrassing. But yeah, this is my pod, Hot Girls Can't Drive Pod. Basically, now that I have a podcast and I primarily post on Spotify, like I post on Amazon Music and Apple Podcasts, but I mainly post on Spotify, like I post through Spotify. So I always get these emails from Spotify about like ways you can improve your podcast. And like one of them, it always says like, make sure you post like on a regular schedule. And I was like, go by, my schedule's never regular. It's literally just whenever I can film, because it's actually kind of a lot of work to make a podcast and actually make it a successful one. Like honestly, like I don't even put that much work into it. Like I just record and then like edit and post them. But like according to Spotify, I'm supposed to like make clips of them and then post it onto like TikTok and Instagram Reels and like YouTube or whatever, which I do post on YouTube, so whatever, for like marketing, because like apparently a great way to gain followers on your podcast is to post short clips on TikTok, which I don't even be doing, but I already feel like it's a lot of work. So it's always a little, it's a commitment. If you're thinking about starting a podcast, first of all, hit me up, Miss Girl. We can be guests on each other's podcasts. But second of all, it's actually like kind of a lot of work. Like who's gonna tell me? Like it's fun, but I also don't put in that kind of work for it because I'm just like, I just want to talk. But like, I don't even be knowing. Apparently, I'm supposed to be doing a lot more. That's what Spotify tells me. Oh, and one of the things Spotify said, they were like, oh, if you want your podcast to be successful, you should pick a niche. That's what everyone always says. Whenever you make a podcast, you should pick a niche thing to talk about. And I feel like I don't have a niche. Like I literally just be talking about whatever I want to talk about. But I was thinking, I was like, if I had to have a niche, what would my niche be? And I am seriously think that my niche could be just talking about dystopian movies. Like I did a whole episode about that, and I did a whole episode specifically to the Hunger Games. And I swear, like that is my Roman Empire. Like I can talk about those movies and that era like forever and ever and ever. Like I'm so obsessed with that. But specifically the Hunger Games franchise, I could talk about that franchise forever. And I just started reading, okay, no, we'll get into this, but I just started reading Catching Fire, and I'm on a page 110 if you care. And it's actually like really good. And I feel compared to the movies, I feel like the book PETA is like so much better than the movie PETA. Like the book PETA is setting my standards so high for men. Like in the book, the way PETA like cares about Katniss, even though Katniss does not care about him, but like he still like puts in all this effort for her. It's just like, oh my gosh, like literally if he wanted to, he would, is the definition of PETA in the books. And I just know when Alexis and I posted that video about the battle of songbirds and snakes, and I specifically said in the video, like, I just know that we're getting so much of this wrong. We should have read the books, because we would talk about stuff and then we were like, wait, did this actually happen in the books? And my friend Charlotte read the books and she was like, girl, you got so much of it wrong. Like, you should have read the books. And other people were like commenting like, oh, like you should have read the books. Like, girl, what are you even talking about? Girl, don't be hating on me. Like, I know I got some information wrong in that episode. Okay. But I was full and honest about it to everyone that I had not read the books before. And I know the whole District 13 theory that I had is completely wrong. Don't even be hating on me. I told you I didn't read the books, but people were commenting about how, girl, you should have read the books, read the books, read the books. So here I am reading the books just for you. You're welcome. I'm not even a reader, but I'm reading the books now. So I'm on Catching Fire if you care. So I'll catch up to the Battle of Songbirds and Snakes, and then maybe I'll redo that episode. But I don't really know if I'm ever gonna have a niche. I just kind of be talking about whatever. But like, I was thinking if I did have a niche, it would probably be that, because I could just talk about that forever. Something else that is completely niche, but that is really upsetting to me, like as a person, is that Poptropica is shutting down December 30th. And I don't know if you know this, but like, I'm a big like computer video game girly. Like, I grew up, like, I remember in elementary school we would have to go to computer lab, which was like this class to literally teach you how to type. It was so dumb. I think it was literally just for us to play around in computers, because it was like around the time everyone had a computer. So like they were trying to teach you how to use it. And I remember in computer lab, I would play Poptropica with my friends. And Poptropica was like my thing. Like before Minecraft or Roblox, which I played both of those too, by the way, Poptropica was like my thing. And I was obsessed with Poptropica. Like in Cool Math games too. I don't know if any of you guys ever played Cool Math games. There was like the Papa's Taqueria and the Freezeria and the Fire Boy and Ice Girl video games. And there was also Kid Pics. Does anyone remember Kid Pics? You could like make little drawings online and print them. I was obsessed with Kid Pics. There's that song, Kid Pics, come on and play with Kid Pics. Yeah. Does anyone remember that song? Anyway, so I was obsessed with Poptropica. Like, would play Poptropica with my friends at school, come home and play Poptropica. My username was Cassandra211. I don't know why. It was because my American Girl doll's name was Cassandra, so it was Cassandra211. If you ever added me on Poptropica, you're a real one. You can look this up. I don't know if you can, but if you could look this up. Poptropica was one of those games where like there was a bunch of different like adventure maps, and you have to complete each a different adventure map, and you would get like a medal, and you can move on to different adventure maps, and each adventure map had like a different story behind it. It was kind of like different worlds. It was kind of like you were traveling to different worlds. Somebody there would have a problem, and then you would play the game, and it was like an adventure game to try to figure out the solution, I guess, or fix the problem. And obviously, like, Poptropica was an evolving game, so like they would add new maps to it every once in a while. But there was a point where when I was in like 7th grade, I had completed every single Poptropica map that was available at the time, so there was like literally no other games for me to play. Like, there was a time in my life where I completed every single Poptropica map. Like, some people on TikTok were like, "Oh, Poptropica's ending. That's so sad." But like, goodbye. I'm in mourning right now. I was obsessed with that game to the nth degree, and you might not believe me right now, but I'll tell you right now, my favorite Poptropica maps was the Ghost Island and the Spy Island, I think it was, and I liked the Greek one. That one was a kind of newer one. I liked the Greek mythology one, but Ghost Island was my favorite. Okay, that's how much I was obsessed with Poptropica. If you're a Poptropica fan, you know. IYKYK. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Sorry about it, but I was a Poptropica girly. Okay, and so it was when I found out on TikTok, of all places, that Poptropica was shutting down. I'm actually really upset about that, because like there was a period in my life where like my daily ritual consisted of waking up, going to school, coming home and playing Poptropica, eating dinner, and going to sleep, and that was my day, and I loved it. Like, I was definitely chronically online, but I loved it. And then eventually, when I completed all the Poptropica maps, and that's when I started playing Minecraft, and now I'm a big Minecrafter. I love Minecraft. But like Poptropica will always be like my first original like obsession of a video game. So it's really sad to me that it's shutting down. I guess before that was Webkins. Like maybe even before Poptropica or in tandem with Poptropica, I was obsessed with Webkins. If Webkins ever shuts down, my heart will break. I loved Webkins, but Poptropica was definitely up there too. And so it's actually really upsetting that Poptropica is shutting down. I feel like no one else cares, but it was really upsetting to me. I loved that. I also loved Movie Star Planet. Did anyone play that? Movie Star Planet. Loved that. Or some other ones. I never was a Club Penguiner. I don't know if anyone else was, but I was never a Club Penguin girly. American Girl Doll, this is really niche, but American Girl Doll had their own video game. And it was like you were like a student, you were like a college student or something at like American Girl Doll University, and you could play all these games and make friends, and it was like really niche, and you could have like a dorm room that you decorated. I don't know if anyone played that game, but it shut down. But I loved that American Girl Doll video game. What other video games did I really like? I liked Kid Pix. That was when I was really, really little. And even before that, I remember we had my parents had like a monitor screen, like one of those box computers, and we would have CDs, and they would buy us CDs that have little video games in. And I remember there was a Little Mermaid coloring one I really liked. What's some other niche video games that people might remember? Oh, there was one that was like Tinkerbell, and you could like make your own fairy, and you would like fly around Pixie Hollow. It was giving Club Penguin. Oh, and you want to know a big one that me and my sister played? We loved Wizard 101 and Pirate 101. I don't know if anyone played those, but we had my friend Shane from elementary school. Shout out Shane. He would play Wizard 101 with us, and that was so fun. Please tell people know what Wizard 101 was. Please. My sister was obsessed with Wizard 101. Please tell me somebody knows what that is. And Pirate 101, I loved Pirate 101. Somebody please tell me you know what these video games are. I loved Poptropica though. So let's all have a moment of silence for Poptropica. R.I.P. It's ending December 30th. That was my sad song. You guys, book me to sing at your funerals. I will. I'll pull up. I'll sing. Anyways, what even has been going on? Because I've actually been talking so much. I don't even know. I have a continuous notes app where I'll literally think of things that I want to talk about in a podcast episode. And so then I'll write them down. But none of this is like something I could talk about for a full episode. It's just like random things that I could talk about for like 5 minutes and then I have to move on to the next thing. So like, I don't even be knowing. But Poptropica shutting down December 30th is on here. So we talked about that. RIP. I think I might have talked about that a little bit too much. If you're still listening, you're a real one. You're actually a real one right now for that. Now that I'm back home now, something that's been like extremely traumatic for me is seeing people that I went to high school with out in the wild, because it's so awkward because I never know now if I'm supposed to say hi to them or if I'm just supposed to pretend like I don't remember them and like what we're supposed to talk about, because especially Target's the big one here. I always run into people at Target and it's so awkward because literally it's the same conversation. It's like, oh, like how's school going? Like obviously you're not dead. Like how's your life since like I saw you like 2 years ago at graduation? And it's actually so awkward, and it's always the same conversation. Oh, you're in Florida now, it must be so much warmer there. And I'm always like, yeah, I actually hate the cold here. And that's literally the end of the conversation. It's so awkward. But that's not even the most awkward part. The most awkward part is seeing boys that went to high school with me on Tinder. That's the most awkward part. Like I go by, don't be judging me for this part, but like I downloaded Tinder at one point because my friend met this guy on Tinder that she really liked, and she was telling me that I needed to get out there because I haven't been on a date in a while. Okay, Brieffish is a little rusty. We all know. I talked about this like 8 times. Brieffish is a little picky when it comes to guys. So I really haven't been on like a real date in a year. It's been a little bit. So she was like, okay, download Tinder. So like, whatever, I did. And then I came, which, by the way, nothing ever happened of that. Let's just preface with that. Nothing happened with Tinder. But what was traumatic for me was when I came home and I opened up Tinder and I saw all these boys that I knew from high school. And that was so traumatic. And then some of them would like DM me on Instagram asking how I was doing. And like that's actually so traumatic for me because it's so crazy. Like when you're in high school, you think like all these boys are, you get obsessed with all these little boys in high school, and then you go to college and you look back on the guys in high school and you're like, why did I ever think any of these people were attractive at all? And that's literally like what the stage I'm in right now. Like I grew up, I lived in the same house from elementary, middle school, and high school. So like I grew up with the same kids basically my entire life. And I remember thinking like all the popular boys were like cute or whatever, and like you would always talk about them with your girlfriends like growing up. And so you think like they're the standard of what attractive boys are, and then you move somewhere else and you're like, why did I ever think the boys back home were attractive? And so it's so crazy because these guys from like high school that like never talk to me are like now DMing me and like hitting me up, and I'm just like, who the fuck? Like I was like, girl, bye, you missed your chance. It's so funny when they think that now that I've graduated and now that I've moved on and now that I'm doing bigger and better things, that they think they can have a chance. Like you missed your opportunity. And that's actually so traumatic and so upsetting to me because I'm like, why couldn't you have done this shit when I was in high school? I literally posted a TikTok the other day and I was like, follow my TikTok. And I was like, literally the start of my villain arc was not having a date to the prom. And then this one guy like hit me up and he was like, I would have asked you. I didn't know that you wanted me to ask, or I didn't know you wanted someone to ask you. And I was like, why are you telling me this now? Like 2 years later, now you're like, oh, I would have asked you. I didn't know. But like, and I'm just like, you're so late to think that I would even care anymore. And that's honestly so offensive that he would tell me that, because it's like, why didn't you do it back then? And it's honestly like, it's crazy to me because growing up and like knowing the same kids from elementary school to high school, I remember how much I valued their opinions so much. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, in high school, I valued these kids' opinions of me so much. Like, especially the popular group, because I wasn't really popular like growing up. I knew a lot of people and I was friends with a lot of people, but I wasn't really considered popular. And I remember, especially like in middle school, I really cared what the popular kids thought of me. Like, I really cared about like whether or not they liked me and what their opinion was of me. And like, I remember I valued, and honestly, everyone at my school, not just them, like, I valued everyone's opinion of me so highly. And then, like, you literally think that like someone not liking you in high school is literally the end of the motherfucking world. And then you go to college where you meet hundreds of thousands of people, and you're just like, and then you just come back home and you're like, why did I ever care what they thought of me? And that's honestly so crazy. And like, if you're listening to this and you're in high school right now, you're probably like, Brie, what? Because in high school, you literally think that everything's the end of the world. And I understand because I was like that in high school. Like, go by, I'm not even going to blame you right now for that because you've never experienced anything else than those couple hundred people or less. But then I promise you're going to go to college and you're going to come back home and you're going to see all these high school kids and you're going to be like, why did I ever give a fuck? Like, it's honestly so trippy. It's so trippy. I feel like I'm like stepped in a time machine whenever I come back home and I see all these people from high school. And I haven't been out of high school that long. Like, it's only been like a year and a half. I graduated in June of 2022. So like, people haven't really changed that much yet. Like, they all look generally the same. So it literally feels so like a time machine whenever I come home. And like seeing all these kids, it's like, ew, it gives me the ick so bad. Especially these high school boys, these old high school. Not, let me preface by saying they're not currently in high school. When I say high school boys, I guess I should mean high school graduate boys that were with me in high school that have since graduated. Let me preface with that. Don't even be saying anything right now. Don't even be saying anything. Just wanna make sure we have that clear. So I guess boys I knew from high school would be the correct terminology. Whenever I see them, it's actually so scary. And when they hit me up, I'm like, ugh, it gives me the ick so bad. So bad. But yeah, that's just honestly, I don't even know why I started talking about this in the first place. I don't know where this came from in my brain hole, but I just felt like I needed to say that because I'm trying to think about a way to say this where I don't expose the person I'm talking about in case he's listening to this. but I went to a function today with my friend Amanda. Not Amanda on this podcast. She's a different Amanda. Shout out to my other Amanda. Love you, queen. And I saw a boy there from high school that didn't hit up me, thankfully, but he had hit up my friends. And just seeing him, like, actually gave me the ick so bad. I got so scared. And it made me think about, like, all these other people that, like, used to never talk to me in high school. And then we graduated and suddenly, like, they want to act like I exist. And it's actually so scary because I'm just like, I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone or something. It's so crazy. Also, this is completely off topic, but I just feel like as your friend, as Brie motherfucking Fish, I have a duty and a right, and I feel like I need to tell you this, but if you like Starbucks like me, and you have the Starbucks app, if you don't, get the Starbucks app because they've been having like 50% off drinks on Thursdays, and that'll save you a lot of money. And this is actually so random for me to be telling you this, but I just feel like, yeah, I just feel like you should be knowing things. And I don't know how long they're doing this for, or even if they're still doing this. I hope they're still doing this. But like the last couple Thursdays, I've been getting notifications on my Starbucks app that they've been having half off drinks. And if you like want to know when this is not sponsored by Starbucks, by the way. I just feel like I wish somebody would have told me this earlier. But if you have the app, they'll like tell you things like this, and it'll save you a lot of money because like I was doing the math. That was actually such a funny statement because I can't do math. I was attempting to do math, and like I spend so much money on Starbucks, especially because at the University of Miami there's a Starbucks on campus. So, and that's one of the only coffee shops on campus that's like a brand named coffee shop. So I spend so much money at Starbucks, and the app has saved me so much money because they're always having like deals and stuff. Like it says right now, 12.19. Oh, that's literally today. Today was triple star day, whatever that means. I don't have that many stars, guys, because I always forget to scan my app. But oh, today's what? Tuesday? I wonder if this Thursday they're going to be having the half off thing again. Because if they do, that would be so clutch. Let's all go get Starbs together. Guys, if you go get Starbs this week, DM me a picture on the Instagram and I'll give you a little shout out because like I feel like next time I record an episode, I should have some Starbs with me because I used to be a Dunkin' girly. Like senior year of high school, I used to get Starbs all the time, and my mom banned me because of the amount of money I was spending. So I started going to Dunkin'. So I was a Dunkin' girly in high school. And then I moved to Miami, and there isn't a Dunkin' close to campus. There's like one that's like you have to like drive to it, like it's not on campus. So the closest like well-known coffee shop is Starbucks on campus. So I've become a Starbucks girly again. But yeah, the app will save you a lot of money. And this was actually so off topic, but I just felt like you needed to know that, queen. So you're welcome. It'll just save you money. I actually had that in my Notes app because like, you know, hot girls can't drive, but they also be trying to save money. You know? I just feel like you get that. So you're welcome. But honestly, this episode was supposed to be me recapping my semester at the University of Miami. And honestly, like, I've been just talking so much that was not like anything I was supposed to be talking about. But I want to do that. And I want to do an episode. One of my great ideas that I could do actually for an entire episode is talking about my worst date stories because I have so many experiences going on bad first dates. It's actually embarrassing. Like, it's actually so embarrassing, like the stories I have from dates gone wrong. So I definitely want to do an episode of that. So I want to do that episode, I guess, this Sunday. So look for that. And I think that's it. This was actually such like a random little chit chat episode, but I kind of thought it would be nice to just like sit down and have a little talk, just us, because we just haven't done that in a while, and I just wanted to give you a little update about my life, and I hope yours is going good. If not, you can always hit me up, Miss Girl. I'm always here for you, or Miss Guy. I ain't even judging. I know like 80% of my audience is girls, but there's some guys in there. You're real ones for that. But yeah, honestly, just like slay the day is the only thing I have to say for you. And yeah, I don't even know. I never know how to end these episodes. Brief fish out. Peace out. Bye. I'll see you next Sunday, queens. Love ya. Bye.